Welcome back to part 2 of our fall snacking series. I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your family and consumer science agent for this series. We are talking about some of those fun fall flavors, things that we can start looking for as snacks, maybe save a little money by prepping and having our own snacks and being able to tailor make those to our likes and dislikes and what we want to provide for our family, as well as avoid some of those extra preservatives and sugars and things that might not be quite as healthy for us. Last time we talked a little bit about trail mixes. Today we're going to talk about popcorn. Now, I know that it's hard to think about popcorn in moderation, but like anything that we talk about food-wise, you can have all the good stuff in moderation. Popcorn is an excellent base that you can use even in the trail mixes like we talked about last time. Today, we're going to look at some treats, maybe some gifts you can give, some ways that you can have that healthy popcorn snack or just a fun, sometimes kind of treat based on popcorn. So the first one I'm going to show you, we do again have 4 recipes coming out in this month's newsletter. I'm going to make some traditional popcorn balls. Now, growing up, this is one of those things, you didn't get to have them all the time. That's part of what made them really special. My great-grandmother would make popcorn balls every year and give them out on Halloween to the trick-or-treaters. So it became just a special thing that you only got once, and maybe once in a while we'd see them around Christmas time with different colors. Very simple recipe. The key to it is to pay attention to what you're doing and not get distracted with any type of candy that you want to make. For this, you don't have to have a candy thermometer. For some of the other recipes that are provided this time, I would recommend you use a candy thermometer. This one is pretty simple. The main thing we want to do is dissolve the sugar to make the syrup that's going to go over our popcorn. So what we're going to need, we're going to need a half a cup of sugar, a quarter cup of butter, half a cup of corn syrup, and about a quarter tablespoon of salt. That's what is going to go into your big pot, and I've had it back here cooking away to get ready. You're going to get it in there, get your butter dissolved, everything mixed together with your corn syrup. So the butter melts, then it's going to dissolve all of your sugar. You're going to want to bring it to a boil, let it boil for about 5 minutes or so that you get rid of all the sugar. And then we've got this big pan with this little bit of syrup in it, and we're going to add our popcorn to that. Now this recipe actually calls for about 8 cups of popcorn. You can use, for any of these recipes, you can use store-bought pre-popped popcorn. You can use microwave popcorn. It's hard with microwave popcorn to find some that has maybe less butter or doesn't have all the butter on it to mix into things. Or you can purchase, they still have these, y'all, regular popcorn, white or yellow, doesn't matter. Pop it in your air popper. I know some people do Instapot popcorn. I've never tried that myself. Put the rest of this in there and try to get it good and coated. So you want to get a good coating on your popcorn, okay? Because the syrup is the part that's going to give it the flavor, but it's also what the glue that's going to hold your popcorn balls together. Now this is not quite, obviously this is going to have a little more syrup on it because not quite 8 cups of popcorn that I'm doing for you here today, because sometimes in TV land making videos we have to make a little bit of an adaptation. But you can see as I've got my popcorn all mixed around in there. So then the best way to get your popcorn into the popcorn balls, this is just some cold water. I'm going to put it on my hands, okay, because this is still kind of warm, but in order to keep it from all just sticking. Okay, and a typical recipe, and this is the traditional recipe, you're going to see this in the old Betty Crocker cookbook, or when you think about just old-fashioned popcorn balls, this is kind of what you're going to get. You know, about 2.5 inches. When I want to make a popcorn ball, okay, y'all know sometimes I get still a little too sticky, a little overly excited and will make a giant popcorn ball. When they do, if you make them too big, when they do set up and harden, they're going to be a little harder to eat. So you want to keep them around that 2.5 to 3 inches in size. I'm just setting these on some parchment paper. I've got it sitting on top of a baking sheet so that I could move them. I could cool them in the fridge if I wanted, or I can just go ahead and let them sit out. Then I'm gonna, once they cool, I can put them in individual baggies. I can wrap them in cute with cellophane or saran and put a cute little bow on them and fancy them up if I wanted to send them or put them out for a party. But you can see this is one of those things that most of us, we've gotten away from doing it because, well, it's just too hard. It was just very difficult. And now you can actually buy popcorn balls pre-packaged, like we're going to talk with all of our snacks, and we talked a lot with our trail mix last time. Pre-packaged, already made, and so it's super simple to grab those and go. They're also very expensive. This, to make popcorn balls, is a very inexpensive treat, but it's very yummy. It's a special thing, and the hardest part about it all is going to be the cleanup. And this is one of those things you're not going to want to let it sit. You're just going to get on it and get it all cleaned up once you have it complete. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and not finish the entire thing. Move that out of the way. Try to get a little more sticky off my hands. Okay, and so there's 2 other kind of fancy popcorn recipes included in the newsletter. One is a gingerbread. Now we talk about moving into fall and moving into the holidays. How fun is that? Gingerbread flavored popcorn. It involves molasses and some ginger and putting it all together. You do a little bit of this on the stove and a little bit in the oven. Yummy. So I highly recommend you check that one out. We also have a nut crunch one, like we talked about last time with toasting the nuts and having things ready to make a trail mix. This is an excellent alternative to that does include the popcorn. Again, super great to put in snack bags or some type of a fun container and give as a gift. So speaking of gifts and healthy snacks, one of the great things we can do with popcorn is add some seasoning, whatever flavoring it is you like. If you like that savory seasoning, if you like something with a little kick and you want it to have some heat, or you like it a little sweet, maybe you just want to put cinnamon and sugar. One of the great things, one year I was able to buy just at one of the dollar stores these cute little popcorn buckets, look like a movie theater bucket. And we put in some microwave popcorn and a couple of sodas and then some different little shakers with different types of seasoning that people could add to their popcorn. So what a fun gift. Here's some things to think about in putting together seasonings, whether it's just for you to keep on hand, because some people might think, well, you know, popcorn, unless it's got all the butter, which is not the part that's super good for you, is just kind of boring. So some things you can add without all the extra butter and maybe even not all the extra sugar if you don't want to make it so sweet, and have a healthy snack that's going to be filling. You can have a couple cups of popcorn at a time. So one of the things you can look for is look for fun, different types of shakers, thrift stores, again, dollar stores, things where you just pick up, hey, that's kind of cute. These are actually some really nice ones. They're Tupperware set. As you empty your different types of spice containers, if you wash those, okay, soak the label off, run them through the dishwasher, you've got a great shaker that now you can fill with something else or give as a gift. So that's a fun thing to do as well. So some suggestions for what you can actually put together within your shakers. I already mentioned cinnamon sugar. That's an excellent one. That's very simple, doesn't take a lot to put that together and make it happen. Some cinnamon, some sugar, you got it. Okay, then you can also think about Italian, if you like that Italian part. These are Italian seasonings already mixed. Okay, you can just add those to a shaker, maybe put a little extra garlic in there with it. Or if you want to take, this is Parmesan cheese. So add that Parmesan, already grated, dried Parmesan to your Italian seasonings. And now you have a yummy Italian type, almost pizza-like coating to go on your popcorn. Also, it's great to think about if you don't want to use the pre-mixed, it might just be your oregano, your basil, putting some of those things together in your seasoning mix. You can take some dill, you can take pre-packaged ranch seasoning if you want, or make your own. Either way, maybe, like I said, somebody likes it with a little kick. This is taco seasoning, which you can add to cute shakers and put out for them to use. Or if you just want to snack at home, grab your taco seasoning out of your cabinet, shake that over your popcorn. You've created something new, a fun snack to have. Okay, some ground red pepper. There's lots of different choices and options of things that you can put together, again, to tailor to your family or to share with others as a fun gift. Now, because again, it can be very expensive to buy lots of different containers of spices. But one of these is going to make a whole lot of smaller shakers when you mix them together to make different types of seasoning. Plus, I think out of all of these, I purchased one to have enough stuff to make everything that we had on the list. So you're gonna have a lot of these things in your cupboard if you go and look. So check out what spices you have on hand, what your favorite flavors are. Consider adding that to your popcorn and creating that fun, healthy snack, or give it as a gift. We're talking this time about healthy snacks. Next time, we're going to talk a little bit about granola and how we can build on and use that, just like we did with our popcorn. Sometimes it's a matter of making our own and having it be more economical. Package things up in individual servings, package things up in gift baskets to give. You've saved some money. You've made a healthy treat that someone can have. Again, I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your family and consumer science agent. I hope you'll join us next time for the next installment of Fall Snacking.